welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And we can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm your girl Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I loves me some tea. Her, I'm currently sipping on some Dr. Pepper from a restaurant that is not sponsoring us, so they don't get a shout out. But if you want to sponsor us, you know where you can do that. Hit me up. But the most important thing that I do have is my cup mug. And Jack has it. So that's a panel full of cup mugs. Panel full of cup mugs. Beer, 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 beer. Do another island edition. And you can get your cup mug or any of our beautiful cup merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses. Get your cup merch, period.
Uh, and hello, my name is Jack. I am the resident game designer of the panel. And, as just a workout like every once, twice a week, I throw a bunch of money into a bag, just kind of
Mm.
like hold it over a fire for as long as I can. And I mean, really
Who,
great motivator, burns a ton of weight
I mean, who doesn't
and
do
also
that?
my savings.
Who doesn't
Uh,
do that though, Jack?
you've got a point. I mean, I think that's why we're in a recession because people keep doing it and burning their money. It's so weird.
So
But
weird.
like trends are trends.
Love that. We are here talking Deal or No Deal Island, episode 10. Good episode. Well, it was, look, I won't say good. It was an episode. I'll say that because I'm not happy with everything that happened in this episode. So it was an episode, but we are going to talk about all of it. But before we do, y'all know what time it is. It's time for me to beg you and plead for you to subscribe to this channel because we are trying to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And me, I ain't too proud to beg. Please, please, please subscribe to this channel. Help us out. Make us reach our goal because we want to unlock a lot of fun things that only can unlock when you have 1,000 subscribers. And so we would love to do that with you. So subscribe to this channel. And if you go to our link tree in the description below, you can subscribe to all of our channels because they're also on a mission to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So subscribe to that channel as to all of the channels as well. And our audio podcast links are down there, so you can check us out on the go. So go check out all of the places where you listen to your audio podcast links, your audio podcast. That's where you'll find the cup. Go check that out. And also join our Patreon because we got a lot of fun things happening behind the scenes. You can get to know the panel better when we're not talking about Deal or No Deal Island or Drag Race or WWE Wrestling or Eurovision. Check us out. We got a lot of fun things coming your way and a lot of fun things in there. So check it out. And yeah, that's what we got going on. Now, Jack, I am going to do something that I don't normally do. I am going to let you start off by talking about this episode of Deal or No Deal Island because breaking the fourth wall, I forgot to make the slideshow real quick. So I'm going to let you do that and get us started on this episode as I go and do this over here. So,
well, basically, the start of this episode is setting our structure for the end game together.
mm-hmm.
We, especially after Dixon's elimination, it is essentially now 2-on-2 with CK riding the lion. We have Letty and Philip on one side of the coin. We have Parv and David on the other. And we have CK who's kind of leaning towards Letty and Philip because it gives her the best odds, but also not necessarily leaning away from Parv and David because it's for her best interest. And I mean, I don't blame it's basically just the structure we've had all season, but now we're actually seeing basically the sides of Letty and Philip going, we're to the end together, we're good. But Parv and David don't seem to be that good. They're definitely questioning if, you know, all going after, if keeping each other to the end is the right idea, because they both want the money. There's no question. And I mean, we do see talks between the aisles very slightly. We see Philip looking to target Parvati, but is okay keeping David around
Mm-hmm.
and potentially looking for Philip, maybe Letty or CK, and David, but no matter what, Parv has to go. It just makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
have we have CK who wants Letty no matter what to be on her side
Right.
and keep her, but CK is looking to eliminate both of the remaining men, being David and Philip, and
Mm-hmm.
go to the end with Parv. And Parvati wants CK and David,
Right.
but is willing to throw David out if that will give her, if basically it comes to it and it's impossible to target anyone but basically CK and David, would go after David. And I think that is rather smart. We
Yeah.
do have some additional information of CK specifically having a knee brace. Unsurprisingly, the full head over heels flip from last episode off the balance beam messed up her knee,
I
which
mean,
is not surprising.
no, because I would have been quit. If that
That's I still can't believe that was just like a side note because that
right.
was insane. But I mean, we essentially have everyone calling different tactics from, we don't really get exactly what David is looking for, but we know he doesn't necessarily have Philip's best interests in mind.
Right.
And we kind of can assume what Letty's intent is
Yes.
by saying, okay, she's kind of looking at Philip and CK.
Right.
But honestly, the person that's most exposed at the moment, and if uncareful, will 100% be pinned, is Parv.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to go to the end with Philip. Sorry, everyone wants to go to the end with CK. People are okay going to the end with David. People are okay going to the end with Letty. Philip is a weird middle ground, which is, I mean, interesting, seeing how we've had Letty, seeing how we've had Parvati be safe for 9 rounds in a row. Of course, no one wants her to make it to the end. This is literally a perfect time to just target her, especially because we know 2 people are going home. But we don't exactly know how.
Right.
And
Exactly.
with that,
It
we go to the mission basically.
yeah, we
But
have a lot of conversations with everybody trying, like you said, trying to figure out what the end game is. And we saw CK literally talk to everybody and basically tell everybody what they wanted to hear to make sure she was safe. And her being in the vulnerable state that she is, she was. She was just that. And so I think watching how this all played out, it was we kind of saw what was going to happen, but it was all now who gets the upper hand in the mission. That's what it came down to. Who was going to have the upper hand in this situation. And yeah, it was a sight to see. So
It was, in fact, a sight to see.
so let's get to the mission of it all because honey, this mission was interesting to say the least. Um
Possibly the simplest mission we've ever had in terms of, like, simply put, hold up a fourth of your body weight in money.
it was very survival coded. It was
It
very
was very
survival coded.
survivor coded.
I mean, didn't we just see something like that in Australian Survivor almost, but it was in a team effort instead of
It
individual?
was basically, um I mean, yeah, hold weight up as long as you can has been something that was very common, and this time it didn't last 5 minutes.
No, no, it lasted a lot longer than 5 minutes.
But of course, it that it's not as simple as simply hold up the money. If you're the last person holding the money, congrats. You get $75,000. Easy. Um However, that's not how you actually bank any case values in this game.
No, you have to drop the money if they're going to offer briefcases throughout this entire time, ranging from different money from 1.25 million to 3 million. And the only way you could get power in this game is if you get the highest case. And if to get the highest case, you have to drop the $75,000 guaranteed to you. So when the case is offered, you have to drop your money and you get that value of the case. If so happens somebody else drops their case when you drop your money, when they drop their money, you split the value of the case between the two people. Um and then you think that would be all. But no, because now you have to assign someone your portion of the weight to add on to their already heavy weight. And so now it makes it even harder to hold on to this thing to hold up your money. Um so you have to make a decision. Is this case high enough for you to drop and take, and is it going to be high enough to keep you safe? Are you going to be the sole person with it, or the bottom two people will end up having to be in the bottom? One person is going to face the banker, and the other person is going to go home immediately. You don't even get a chance to play. So it's kind of interesting to all these different moving parts to this mission makes it a little bit more complicated than just holding up $75,000 with your body weight. And we see it play out pretty quickly because, first of all, holding up that much weight is hard to do. And they were struggling right away. Like a lot of people were like, oh, this is so heavy. This is a lot. Um, and we see the cases come out being presented 1.25, 1.75, well, 1.5, 1.75, um, 2 million, 2.5, 3 million. And so they don't know how high these cases are going to go. And so everybody's trying to see how high the cases go before they go back into rotation and start it all over again. And so when it gets to 2.25 or 2.2 million, Letty just can't hold on anymore.
2.5.
2.5 million. She just can't hold on anymore. She's like she doesn't just say I want this case. She literally just drops. She can't hold on and she drops. So Letty has the $2.5 million case, which is the highest case thus far. Um and so they continue. They continue. We see 2.7.
I will say, I'm trying to remember, and maybe this was just me missing this in the rules. Did they reveal that the first that you once you drop, you add the weight to another person?
No, not during the first part of it.
They revealed that once Letty dropped.
Yep.
And they were like, "You've dropped, congratulations. Small note, you're now going to take the same weight that you had and put in someone else's. You chose power, congratulations, you're screwing someone."
And she chooses David, which is the right thing to do at that moment.
Oh, absolutely the right thing to do. We even see that doesn't really affect David.
Yeah. She puts it on David. It's like, oh, okay, there we go. So then we continue and we get to the $3 million case. And Parvati and CK decides to let go of their cases. I don't know if it was miscommunication or was it CK saying, "Screw you, Parvati, you're not gonna get 3 million to be safe again." I don't know what it
I
was.
don't know.
I don't know what it was.
I don't know what it was. I think it was also. I think it could have been CK going, "I'm not gonna let Parvati take control of this game again."
Mm-hmm.
I think it could have also been CK going, "I just genuinely can't hold this weight anymore."
Right. Or I genuinely just want this $3 million case.
Yes.
And both of them just let go at the exact same time. And it was like, oh, you couldn't
Oh,
have planned
okay.
that better. you know, they both let it go. And so now they have to split $3 million between the two of them, which is 1.5 million apiece. So as of right now, they have the lowest two cases.
And suddenly, Letty, who was 0.5 million down, now has the highest case again, and there's one case that can beat it.
Hmm. And they know exactly what case it is. And they know when it's coming up in the rotation. But Parvati gives her weight to Philip, and CK gives her weight to David, which now David is like, oh, come on. and I'm like,
Yeah, no shit, you're a titan. I
right,
mean, yeah, we could throw that weight at we could absolutely throw that weight to Letty. Letty will be no, not even. We
Philip.
could throw that weight at David. That
Yeah,
my brain is not working.
Philip.
We can throw that weight at Philip. Great. Philip is down in 0.2 seconds. That does nothing. Like, it
Right.
doesn't make sense for Philip to throw at anyone else. And Parv's decision also made sense. So,
It
I
made
mean,
sense. Hmm.
it could be a lot worse.
Definitely. I do, but then this is where it gets interesting for me because now we see David and Philip hanging on, and they're hanging on to for dear life. And the case that they both know they need to be at the top comes up, and Philip looks over at David. David is like, "Philip, take the money. I'll give you the money. Enjoy the money. It's yours. It's 75,000 is a lot of money, and if you just let me have this, it's your money. It's." And I'm like, okay,
Okay.
okay. Um, but then at first I was like, no, Philip, don't take the money. Like, go for like drop that case at this 2 point. Like, just drop it. And but then I was like, but as I thought about it longer and what made more sense, $75,000 guaranteed is a lot of money, and it's guaranteed money. Winning Deal or No Deal Island is not guaranteed to Philip at this point. He still
Mhm.
has four other people to get through, and then he still has to play Deal or No Deal to possibly get the 9 million or whatever, however $1 million case comes out.
And David had already basically made him a pseudo offer of like, hey, I'll keep you safe for the round.
Right.
So all of those variables makes sense for him to essentially go, you know what? I'm okay letting this opportunity go.
Yeah. What I did hope is that once he let David have that big case, he could have got the other highest over 1.5 million and got the case above that. So he would have been safe and it would have been CK and Poverty in the bottom by themselves. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But he did hold on for much, but he ended up getting the lowest case value of 1.2 million. And so he was automatically in the bottom and was in trouble to either go home right away or face the banker, whichever David made his decision. But in that moment, he felt like David made him a deal to keep him safe. So, and he walked away with $75,000 because that's more money than a lot of them walked away with. So, not really mad at at that. I'm like, yeah, 75,000, eat, work.
Especially because this season compared to last season, like last season, almost every single round there was an offer for someone to walk away with 25, 50, 75,000, 100,000. Like this season in particular, this is
This
the
is the first
first
deal.
offer of like, no matter what, you are walking away with this money we have
Hmm.
gotten. So I do not blame Philip in the slightest for judging every single variable and going,
I kind of
that
want
makes
this money.
sense.
Right. It makes sense to me too. And so I was like, okay, cool beans. He gets his money. He gets the $1.2 billion case, and he's on the bottom. So now it's up to David to make the decision on who he's going to first send home immediately, and then who he's going to have play the banker. And so when they get back to camp, we see Phil, not Philip. We see David talking to Parvati and CK. This was a little awkward conversation, but whatever. CK, of course, being very CK-ish, wants to give her reasoning and explanation for why she dropped with Poverty. And David and Poverty are like, there's no need to talk about that. It's done, it's done. Let's just move on. And she said, no, 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 let me explain. And it was like, oh my God, girl. Like, we don't need the explanation. What we need to do is figure out a plan. We are not here for explanations anymore. It's time for planning. They were very like quickly like, okay, we already know Philippa goes home immediately. Done. And then between Parvati and CK, one of y'all play the banker. Who wants to do it? Parvati is like, I don't really want to, but I will if I need to. CK was like, well, I've
Mhm.
already played the banker twice. I don't kind of want to do it anymore. Um, David's like, it's just not, I don't know. I don't know what to do. And they both said that they would send Letty home, which is what David wants. If they win, they would send Letty right out the door. Parvati believed that. She will send Letty right out the door. CK, on the other hand, not
Ah,
not
I
quite
feel
sure.
I definitely feel like, oh, if Philip is going home, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna balance the scales because I'm not gonna give a perfect final two together and then me, who already has a bad knee. Like I'm not gonna allow that to occur.
Absolutely. So
So
she immediately after her conversation with Philip and Parvati, not Philip, David and Parvati, she goes tells Letty and Philip they want me to play the banker, and um if I play the banker and I win, I'm sending Parvati home. I told them you, Letty, but I'm not doing that. Letty was like, I get it. I'll play sad. That's fine. She's like, I'm not sending you home. And I kind of believe her in this moment. I kind of believe that she won't send Letty home if she wins.
yeah, I do think that Letty is probably just a confirmed like mm, confirmed member of the final three is a hard thing to say.
No, I don't think she's a confirmed member. I think
She's
she
very likely.
more
It literally
likely,
depends on what happens. I
right,
would
who
say that
plays?
it entirely depends on who plays. I think if CK is playing, Letty is a confirmed member of the final three.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone but if Parvati plays, I think CK is confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's literally just a decision of who wins in those instances. If Parvati wins, Letty is gone. If
Right.
CK wins, Parv is gone. But if
Mm-hmm.
either of them lose, obviously they're going home. So
Absolutely.
David is good. Either CK or Letty is making it. And then that final spot is filled up by the decision that is made at Temple.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so it is interesting. So then CK has a conversation with Parvati. And for some reason she tells Parvati, if I win, I'm sending you home. And Parvati's like, what
Wow,
are you
okay.
saying? Okay,
What
if
the
that's what we
fuck?
playing, like if that's what we playing, then I'm just gonna tell David to let me play, and if I win, I'm sending you home. Like,
Uh, huh? I guess now Letty's confirmed because she's good. She's not going. She's not going anywhere. Parvati's just gonna shoot Courtney. God damn it.
and
Okay.
then and then CK's like, no, I'm just kidding. No, Parvati, I'm just playing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm like, what is happening here? What is really
Uh,
going on with this situation right now? Like,
mess. Mess is happening.
it's confusing. It's confusing. I'm like, okay, whatever. But she's like, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. So I'm just like, what is really happening? We see a conversation with Philip and David where David is telling Philip that if he does he want to play, Philip is like, I would play if you want me to play. I don't have a problem with playing. Um, and David is like, okay, okay, that's good. And you would send home. And he was like, CK. Well, he didn't
No
ask.
question.
Didn't ask. And he was like, I will send home CK if that's what you want. Or who do you want me to send home? And I think in that moment, David didn't want to say Letty, but I think Philip knew he meant Letty. And so they're kind of just like, I'll
Mm,
send home whoever I need to send home at this point, and I'll send whoever you want me to send home if you keep me. So it was more like a yeah, and I think David knew where Philip was going. Like, I'm going to say what I need to say for you to keep me, and David knew he was saying whatever he needed to say for him to keep him. And so I don't know. It was a thing. It was interesting, but we see everybody get going into temple at this point. Everybody's dressed, ready for temple. Parvati's ready to play. She's like, if I gotta play, I'll play. We'll do what we gotta do. They get to temple. David has to make his decision who he's going to send home immediately. And honestly, I thought watching this, I don't think Philip actually thought he was actually going to have
I
any
don't think he
issues
does either.
because he was Philip is smiling and he was ready for whatever. He was ready to play if he had to play. But David, being the actor that he is, was like, oh, this is so hard for me. This is the hardest thing. I didn't want to have to do this. Yes, you did because you picked that power. You wanted to do this. But oh, it's so hard. It's so hard. And this is the worst thing that I ever have to do. I don't want to do it. Ugh, I don't want to do it. Philip, you're going home.
Uh, oh God, fucking damn. This I like we knew it was coming, and that's the worst part of like we can see it just going down the entire episode.
Yep.
But I mean,
Ugh,
I think we've made it very clear. We were Philip all the way from episode one,
yep.
and uh,
This blows.
so so close, but literally just like look. At least he walked off with money.
He walked off with
That's the best
seventy-five
thing we can
thousand
say.
dollars.
75K compared to a shot at getting more money.
Right. Nothing was
And
guaranteed except that money.
uh,
I
I
think
will say,
go
uh,
ahead.
no, go for it, go for it.
I think him walking away with that 75,000 made it so much better for me because I was
Hmm.
like, okay, the fact that he walked home with money guarantee, some of these people was going to walk away with nothing, and he walked away with 75,000, and that is going to help put some stability in his life that I'm sure he needs and we all need in this economy that
Hmm.
we're living in right now. So I love that for him. I'm very happy that he got that. And hearing his explanation today when we talked to him not too long ago, and you can check out our interview with Philip right here now. Uh
Which I will say, I think both of us basically have said it at this point. This is the interview that not only we were waiting for, but it gave everything straight up. It brought both of us to tears.
yeah,
So this, if you are going to watch any interview, it's this one. It
yeah,
is genuinely
absolutely.
this one. And follow Philip on Instagram
Yeah.
immediately. It is not a question. My heart goes
Ugh,
out to him because this was genuinely, I think, the saddest I've been in a while at seeing someone eliminated on
yeah.
any show.
I think we were more devastated than he was. And
Hmm.
just because I was like so invested. Philip actually watched this podcast and we appreciate that he was a listener and he said such kind things to us and we truly, truly appreciate it. But the fact that he watched this podcast even before he went on Deal or No Deal Island and was a fan of this podcast, for whatever reason, I don't care. I just thank him that he was and that he reminded us that our voices are heard. And there's been times, I'm sure for Jack, but for me, I know where I felt like, why are we doing this?
Hmm.
What's the purpose of this? And nobody's watching, nobody cares. No, we're just doing this for our own. I guess we're doing it
To give us a reason to watch reality TV, but like,
right.
no, we got hard proof of why we're doing
Why
this.
we're doing this?
And
Ugh,
that I think is one of the greatest things that I've ever had happen. We're just like, your purpose here in this context means a lot.
and it makes sense.
And it makes sense.
Ugh, it's just so
Ugh.
y'all go check out that interview. It really did our heart well, and trust and believe this is not the only time you will see Philip here on the Cup TV
Hmm.
because I will be all up in his DMs begging and pleading for him to make some time to come back on this channel. I promise you.
Hell,
Um,
maybe not even the Cup TV. You might see him in, I don't know, a different Cup channel because that was an interest. So,
yeah, we might see him on the drag channel. We might see him on the TV channel. Heck, who
well,
knows?
we will see.
We will see. But yeah, this was the saddest and the most heartbreaking exit because we love Philip here so much and we wanted him to win. We felt like he was in a good position to win, but it is what it is at this
It is
point.
what it is.
And he got
And
75,000 to boot. So
not only that, he even said it as he exited. He basically was able to grow as a
yes,
person and do everything that he wanted to do. I mean, besides get the money. And that was significantly more valuable than any amount of money could get him.
absolutely.
So, I mean, it sucks, but it wasn't some crazy twist or blindside or a random shootout mid-season. Philip essentially got to go to the end of his story and say, I am happy with the situation. And
Absolutely.
I literally do not think most people on reality TV get that moment.
I think you're right. I think you're right. But and as Philip said, the growth that he experienced throughout this, those that were shown and those that were not shown. Go check out the interview to find out the things that were not shown. But I love the fact that he saw himself grow, and we were able to be blessed to watch the journey, and we saw the growth. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see where the future holds for Philip and the rest of. And I'm excited to see what happens with the rest of this episode, with the rest of this journey on Deal or No Deal Island, because after Philip is gone, we now have to get David's decision on who's going to play the banker. And we will get that next week because that's where they cut it
Of
off.
course. Of course. I mean, no, we can't just have a simple double elimination. No, we need to just actually extend it for another week. And
Mm-hmm.
we literally have 2 episodes after this. We are getting one more week of elimination, and then we're getting to the finale. So we're
We're almost
we have
there.
a good little time of this left. And I mean, I will say, I mean, sure, we've already said enough, but like, in my opinion, this is probably the most surprising reality TV hit that we've
Mm-hmm.
had in a while.
Mm-hmm. I
And
agree.
I am so happy that I get to do this with you, Lana,
I
and
am happy I get
podcast
to
an
do this.
amazing show.
We have Jack since episode one. We have been together, and we are go in this thing and ride this out until the end. And
Mhm.
it's been such a pleasure doing this with you. We'll talk. Look, I will give you all the flowers at the end of the season because we still got episodes to go. But that is all we have to talk about this episode. I need y'all to tell us in the comments, who do you think he picks? Who do you think he picks to play the banker? And do that person win or do they make a bad deal? Let us know in the comments what you think. Jack, what do you think he picks?
My honest guess is based on every single piece of information we have. He
Mm-hmm.
chooses Parvati,
Mm-hmm.
Parvati succeeds,
Okay.
and Letty goes.
Okay.
Unless I could see either Letty or CK going. But
Mm-hmm.
in my mind, everything has led up to a Parvati at the last possible chance that she could, besides the winning game,
Mm-hmm.
deciding to play Deal or No Deal. And
Okay.
what do you think?
I absolutely agree with you. I think Parvati plays. I think Parvati wins. I think Letty goes. Um, and we will have the final three of David, Parvati, and CK. And what happens at the end of that? I think David wins.
I have a good feeling that David wins.
But
I mean, the I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Unfortunately, anyone but CK winning feels like a valid option of like something that could happen at this
hmm
point. David has played a very under the radar game, mostly because people don't know that he is a giant threat.
hmm
Parvati has been the front woman the entire game, and everyone knows who she is. And Letty is basically the final newbie player, but not really because of being on WWE. Basically, non-reality TV person to win that has the strength and the passion to go on and win.
Right.
So I my bet at this point would be David, but I also wouldn't be surprised that a Parvati or Letty win.
Absolutely. But that is that, y'all. We are going to get out of here. We said all we could say. We'll be back next week to talk about who gets to pick and who gets to play and what happens. Who's our final three and all of that jazz and nonsense. But thank you for watching. We appreciate you taking the time to spend with us. Make sure you go show Philip some love, like we said before. Um, Follow us and subscribe to this channel. We are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so we appreciate if you will follow. Give us the like, give us the follow, hit the notification bell so you won't miss a single video when it drops. Go to our link tree, follow all of our other channels, click those links, subscribe, and all of that. If you need to check us out on the go, our audio podcast links are in our description as well. Our Patreon is down there. Join that so you can get the fun stuff behind the scenes. Follow us at all of our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. You can follow Jack and myself on those same platforms as well. And don't forget to get your merch because you should get it at lanagscreations.etsy.com. And on that note, y'all, we're just going to say cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.